Hi, and welcome back to the channel. My name is John Stockdale. This is CJ Leonardi. Triads today. Yeah, we're going to do major, minor, augmented, and diminished triads. We're going to start with our different ways that we could do it. We're going to start with just C major. Let's start with a C on the E string, and we'll do the note C on the 6th string, 8th fret, and we've got a major third is our pinky on the 12th fret, the note E, and then a minor third from the note E to the note G. And that's our C major triad. You can see that there are 3 frets, or 3 notes that we can play in between the root and the major third, and 2 notes that we can play in between the 3rd and the 5th scale degree that makes up our C major triad. Triad and chord mean the same thing. So C, then we have E, and then we have G. So that's fret 8, 12, and 15. Let's go to the A string. And we've played hammer out of nowhere, C, and then E, and then G. So we have frets 3, 7, and 10. Let's go to the D string. We have frets hammer out of nowhere. We got the 10th fret, and then we have the 14th fret, E, and the note G. And then we have on the G string, fret 5, fret 9, fret 12. Fret 1 on that B string, fret 5, and the note G on the 8th fret of our 2nd string. Then fret 8, fret 12, and then fret 15. Now let's go to our second way of playing it, and we're going to be playing, I guess that would be 9th position with the 1st finger stretch. And so we play our C, and then our E, and now our 2nd finger on the next string is playing the 5th of the chord G. So fret 8, fret 12, and then we've got on the 3rd fret of the A string, C, 7th fret of the A string, major 3rd, and then perfect 5th. Let's go to the D string, play C, E, G. C, then we have on the 14th fret, and then G. Okay, let's play C, E, G with the root on the 3rd string, and then we have the major 3rd, and then the perfect 5th, and we've got the C, E, G on the 12th position on string 2 and string 1, and that's our C, E, G that way. Now, if we took that note that's closest to the bridge, the note G, and so the note E, and put it on the A string, then we've got our 2nd finger starts off and playing the C, E, and then G. We got 1 note on the 6th string and 2 notes on the A string, C, E, G. Let's go to the A string. Play the note C, then the note E and G on the D string. Stay on the D string, let's go to C. And now on the G string we'll play E and G. Let's go to the 5th fret of the G string, playing C, and then we roll off to the note E, and then the note G. And then let's move to the note C on the B string, and then E and G. Now, if we go back to the first one that we played with the root on the 6th string, C, E, G, the note that's closest to the bridge, the note G, that can go on to the next string. So now we're starting with our pinky, which is called quaternary form. So we've got 1 note per string. So we've got a sweeping technique that we can work on and start working on different techniques. So we've got the root, and we can see our major 3rd, and then we can see our minor 3rd to the perfect 5th of the root C, E, G. Now let's go to the 15th fret, and because down here we use open strings like a C major chord, but here we got 3 different notes. We can play all fretted. That way it is transposable. So if we needed to move it to like maybe let's make an E major triad. There it is. We just moved it to 7th fret. What if I said B flat? Bam! There it is. So let's go to C, E, G. We'll play C, E, G with the root on the A string. C, E, and then on G is the same shape as what, and the same fingering as where we had it in the string on the bass strings. All that is just going to be a major shape. No matter where we put it, that fingering is going to be exactly the same. When we move to the D string, though, it's going to change because of the B string. We get any note on the B string, we got to move up 1 fret. But then it's transposable. So we've got the note C, E, G is a nice tertiary form. The 10th fret of the D string is our root, and our 2nd finger is the major 3rd, and our perfect 5th is the note G on the 8th fret of the B string. So if we moved it down a half step, it would be B. So this is our B major shape. And if we moved it down a whole step, it would be A. And we moved it down a whole step, it would be
G.
And of course, this is everybody's first F major chord that they pretty much learned if they bar the first string, right? And then there's our octave. So if you want to play that on that, practice that, you've got that old-fashioned exercise. So let's move to the root on the G string, and we'll find the note C, and the note on our B string had to move up a half step, and then we've got our G, and that's the other shape that we've got. So we, from here on, would just move to playing C, E, G with a string skip, and so we've got different ways we can play that. So let's do the root on the 6th string. We've got C, and then we've got the note G, a perfect 5th. Now that note E, we're going to bring up an octave, and we're going to play the 3rd string, 9th fret. And so we've got a nice little harmony here. Instead of playing a big fat C major chord with 6 strings, we can play this 3-note voicing, and it sounds really nice. Now, if this is a 1 chord, our 4 chord would be down here, and then our 5 chord would be up a whole step. Okay, so moving back to C major with the root on the 6th string, if we moved it straight across to the next group of strings, the 4 inner strings of the guitar, the note on the 2nd string would have to come up 1 fret. So if we had to find C major with the root would be on the 3rd fret, and we'd have C major with strings 5, strings 4, and then the 3rd is in the melody. So if we brought it over to the next group of strings, the treble strings, then we've got a string skip with the melody in the 3rd, and it's going to be the same shape. So we'd move to 10th position, and we've got C, G, and E. So this exact same shape, if I played down an octave and you played there, we played it together, that's good for your left and right channel when you're mixing. You might be able to do some things with that. Now, so let's put the C and the G as a perfect 5th on strings 1 and 2. Then we could put a 3rd in the bass, making the first inversion. And so now we've got C, E, and G, but this in first inversion, meaning that the 3rd is in the bass. We've got E, C, and then G. Okay, now, if we brought that over to the next group of strings, the note on the B string is going to have to lift up. And so we'd find the note C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and we'd have C, and then we'd have E on the 7th fret with our ring finger, and then the note G is going to be on the 2nd string's 8th fret. Now if we found the note C on the 12th fret of the E string, would be our 3rd in the bass, the root on the 10th fret, and then the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and that's 3 different ways that we can play C major also. Alright, let's take a quick look at all the C major triads that we just got through doing on the screen. Yeah, man. Thanks again for joining me on another lesson, man.
Of course, thanks for having me.
All right, take care and rock on. We'll see you in the next journey.